It's 2025! It's a Saturday. It's 9 o'clock. Yes, it's time for the Monster Magic Saturday Show. Let's do this.
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you all had a blinder. I imagine those foggy, painful heads have now dispersed, and much like me, you might be back at work, I'm afraid. But come on, it's the weekend and it's time for some reviews. This show's going to be slightly different, actually. So I say it's time for some reviews. This is going to be the top 20 tricks of 2024. So I'm going to list them down from 20 all the way to 1, which I'm going to say now is an absolutely bonkers thing to try to do. It's just impossible. I'm not quite sure what criteria you should use to judge them, whether or not it's, how convenient they are, the reset, how creative they are, whether they're value for money. There's just too many ways of judging a magic trick for this list really to mean absolutely anything. But the only thing I could do would be to do it for my favourite tricks of 2024. So these are the tricks that I would probably most likely be doing, the tricks that would probably give me the most fun. That's all I can do. So I wouldn't suggest that they are necessarily the best. They're just my favourites. So you can feel absolute freedom in disagreeing with me. And I have missed out some corkers. The thing is, if you tried to do this, if you listed all of the tricks that I've reviewed over the years, you will discover that you are chopping and changing the list. You start off with over 60, you try and get it down to 20, which is nigh on impossible. You find yourself knocking out absolute blinding tricks just to get down to the 20, and then that order, it could be at number 18 1 minute and number 2 the next. It's just so difficult to do. So I'd take the numbers with a pinch of salt as well. But before I get into that list, I want to just mention that Heroes and Villains by Craig Petty. When I watch Craig Petty, he goes right to my head. And I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. Is now in stock. This again is another one of those decks. It's got the optical marking system. The thing about this one, and what appeals to me about this one, certainly more than the others, is it represents more, it's got more similarities to an ordinary deck of cards. You've got red and blue cards instead of red and black. Still got 52 of them. So the card tricks that you can do with it sort of make a little bit more sense, possibly. But I will be reviewing this properly next week. And I've also got the triple Gazinta boxes by TCC in. I love the Gazinta box. It's one of Luba Feeder's best creations, in my opinion. I used to do it on stage with, where is my... Here is my stage one, which I got. It's a vintage one I got at Magic Circle auction many moons ago. Oh, look at that! You can see how the colours beginning to fade there. I absolutely love it. It's a great little trick to do with a storyline, a lot of comedy. You've just got to come up with a fun presentation for them, which is what I enjoyed about it. I've tried so many different things that I was telling a different patter every time I performed it. So much fun. This one you get 3 boxes, and I'm not sure whether or not the 3 boxes make any difference, really, make it any stronger. 2 for me seems cleaner and just speeds the trick up a little bit. But there are tricks in here that include producing, the 8-ball from it, or the torn corner from a playing card, or indeed a chosen selection folded playing card. So a card to impossible location, if you will. But again, proper review of these next week. And then finally, I just want to mention, now this did almost make it into the top 20 list. It is The Gnome by Miles Thornton. It's a sweet little I mean, I want to say booklet, I suppose. And Miles just writes these and illustrates these himself. And you get one trick in here. It comes out monthly. You get one trick, you get a nice little story, and then you get an idea or a tip as well. So let me show you the illustrations and so on. Absolutely just full of charm, I suppose. And what is nice, because it's just one trick, you're not daunted by it. You might as well just pick up your cards or your coin and just learn that one trick. It's almost, I suppose it's a semi-automatic trick really in this one. No real skill required. If you can hold a pinky break and count, you'll be fine. And then there's a nice little story about him meeting David Williamson in here, and there's a nice little idea for Chop Cup as well. Just perfect really if you want to learn one trick a month, or just receive something to give you a reason to pick up some magic. This is it. Very, very nice. I've forgotten how much it is, but there you go. All the details are there. It's the gnome.com. So here we go, my favourite tricks of 2024. In at number 20 is Double Colour Prediction by Sorcerer Magic. You don't remember, this is the thing with the bolts and the metal plate with 3 holes in it. They put 2 bolts in whichever hole they want. You pull out a big A4 prediction to show that their bolts in your prediction, your metal sheet, are exactly the same. I just love it. I mean, it's quirky, it's direct. The bolts are really what sell it for me. It sort of makes it impossible for you to have changed that prediction. It really does feel that the prediction is set in stone and they have had complete freedom as to which holes to use. And it's got that certain quirkiness that I really, really like. At number 19, it is a Lucky Key close-up version by the Fatter. As I said last week, I loved it at the stage version. I used to have the old crook lock, which was very, very heavy. To make this into a close-up version is really, really smart. It's really, really well made. The plastic case, the lock, the keys, they're all perfect. And the fact that your participants can choose absolutely any key and you can just have fun with the presentation, you can put in some comedy with it. Doesn't have to be money in the little plastic slip. There are lots and lots of ideas you can do with it. It's just super fun, super easy, and really strong magic to boot. At number 18, it is Extra Sensory Prediction by David Jonathan and Nicholas Mazrezes. This suffered a little bit by Penguin's lack of quality control in producing. It's a very easy thing to produce, and I think they got a little carried away. I think that's all been sorted now. It's a very easy fix if you happen to have got a dodgy one. But I absolutely love the method and I love the revelation, and again it's got that little bit of built-in comedy that really, really appeals to me. And also your participant has no idea that you're going to turn those cards over and they're going to spell "you will choose." It comes at them at the blue, and it is just really, really strong, really, really fun, and very entertaining, certainly for a ESP card matching effect. And number 17, it is Mr. Gloves by Juan Pablo. Not so much a trick really, as more of sort of fun utility tool. Creating that character with your glove is just a brilliant idea. And even watching the trailer of Juan Pablo doing it, where he's making him vanish a cigarette and stuff, you know, I quite like a sort of bad-mouthed or a naughty Mr. Gloves. A sort of Greg Wallace Mr. Gloves would be really funny, but he is super cute. He can pretty much do any magic trick that, you know, requires one hand, I suppose. So don't just stick to the silk. But yeah, I don't know, just really charming and really good fun. And number 16, it's Sven Cards by Brett Barry. Possibly one of the best ways of forcing a word or an item or anything written down, quite frankly. The idea isn't necessarily Brett's, but the execution, the way these are made is absolutely perfect. You have no fear in handing them out, have no fear in having them handled, having them shuffled, having them mixed. There is just complete trust in the quality of these cards, and then again you can still force exactly what you want to. There really should be in every mentalist's arsenal. In at number 15, it's Letters by Jerome Salou. I love the idea of forcing a Scrabble word. It seems like a very obvious thing that a mentalist should be able to predict or to control. This method, I think, is super smart. The participant has complete freedom choice of the tiles. The tiles are legit. There's nothing for them to feel or find there. The bag is completely normal. The move just flies by. It is so clean and so direct. I think it is absolute genius on many levels. And I think it's just a plot that really appeals to me as well. And again, on the tutorial, they run through various other ways that you can use the word that you've forced. In at number 14, it is Ishihara Test by Liam Lebanon. This is one of the quirkiest packet tricks. It's a lot of fun to perform. It's very easy to perform. I like the hook of colour blindness. You'd be surprised at how many people are actually colorblind, and the Ishihara test is a genuine thing with which you can hang this trick around. The magic bit at the end, when all of the cards end up with a different colored back, really does hit them between the eyes, if you pardon the color test pun. And Liam's teaching of his little frustration count and the Olram subtleties really are worth learning. I think it's a lovely little trick. In at number 13 is a sandwich coin set by Mario Lopez and N2G. I am a big fan of Mario Lopez, and this little coin set and its plot I just really like. It's got quirky comedy, a little bit of mime, a little bit of magician in trouble. He does it as a seated trick quite often, but I love the stand-up version, which was perfect for walk around, perfect if you just want to carry this coin set around and perform it. It's really well made. It's really well taught, and there's some little additional extras, and just the way Mario handles his friend Michelle and so on are really quite inspiring. I really don't think that this coin set got the attention that it really deserved. And in at number 12, it is Magic Button by Craig Petty. Craig obviously has released numerous tricks over this year, a lot of them being decks of cards. So you've got Evoke all the way through to Focus. This is my favourite release of this year. It's sort of got its basis in Sideswipes by Simon Aronson, a trick that is very close to my heart. I learnt it 30 odd years ago and still think it is one of my favourite tricks to perform. Magic Button takes that, puts it on steroids, throw in all of the teaching that Craig always puts in to all of his projects, and it is just a blinding release, and you can really get some energy up around the table and just really engage with your audience with it, and they don't see the kicker coming at all. And of course it has got lots of other gaff cards in it. It's everything but the kitchen sink, really. I think it is one of Craig's best projects. In at number 11, it's Dragon Scale by Penguin Magic. This, for me, has been overlooked because A, it's very pricey, and B, Penguin have concentrated on it being for cards, and I have taken it away from cards. You can put any object on this thing as long as they weigh different amounts, and you can play with objects to make sure they weigh different amounts. So if you've got, I've done it with greeting cards before, and you can just put a little note in the greeting card or anything that weighs a little bit more, or just use a greeting card of different size. And you can then choose which greeting card is being chosen. You can hide the thing in so many different boxes. It doesn't have to be a card case. It is super, super versatile. It is one of the things, so I got it in Blackpool earlier this last year now. And my mind was just racing. I was around the shops, I was around the supermarket, I was around Poundland, just buying anything that came in a box that this thing would fit in. It's great. I think it works perfectly. It connects to all of those devices that you might want it to connect to. For me, I just use my watch. I think it's absolutely super. And now a brief interlude from the countdown. Give yourself a breather, as it is the prize draw. The Wok of Wishes is here. In here I have all of the names for everyone who entered, everyone who left a New Year's resolution. I hope you're sticking to them. It's a bit early, or maybe you haven't even started, I don't know. But here we go. Get reading those magic books, get practicing that magic, get out there and get fit, you know, improve your diet, all of those wonderful things we should be doing. Here we go. Let me give them a, here we go. Whoop, hey. And that is why I am not on MasterChef. Right, here we go. I think there might be a breeze. I think there might be, got an excuse. Here we go. And the winner is Merlin Maggi. Merlin Maggi. Congratulations, Merlin. You have just won the quote. Please email me at info@monstermagic.co.uk and I will get the quote out for you straight away on Monday morning. Congratulations. Now, it's the top 10 of my favourite tricks of 2024. And number 10 is Chip Reader by Dave Forrest. There have been a lot of poker chip routines this year. I felt I sort of challenged myself to only put one in. Cheetah Chips by Craig Petty, that has only really recently been released. I haven't had enough time with it. It's a full-on Craig Petty project with some poker chips. Absolutely brilliant. You've got Discovery by Preston that so nearly made it. I think that again is a very underrated trick, brilliant method, and a super direct piece of mentalism and a really fun thing to carry around. But Chip Reader by Dave Forrest was the one that pipped it for me. I just think it is really, really clever. The way those chips are designed to enable you to divine which chip they have chosen without too many negative phishing comments and all of that stuff. Absolutely super, easy to carry around, great hook you can have with the gambling chips and different casinos and so on. The chips are beautiful and the thinking and the routine is terrific. And in at number 9, it's Tiny Grand Illusion by Green Lemon. This blew me away when it was performed on me. It's a very, very simple trick. It's based on an old principle, but they've elevated it. I think the use of an assistant in a box as the plot and the hook is absolute genius. I'm going to be using genius a lot during this list, I think. The cards are beautiful and they are so well done to keep the secret, to hide the secret. It's all very, very subtle. They are perfect. The routine that you get taught is great. A multi-phased routine, each routine building and getting more and more powerful, and it's easy to do. You've just got to learn the choreography, and for the price and the amount of entertainment and fun, it is a very, very hard trick to beat. If it probably only because it's so simple, is it so far down the list. I think it is an absolute corker. In at number 8, it's RPS, Rock, Paper, Scissors by Paul Andrews. This just really appealed to me, really for the props. The hands are just super, brilliant fun to bring out. People will grab them. People, they're tactile. They are just really, really good fun to put down on the table with your participants to enjoy. And then you've got the plot. Everyone knows rock, paper, scissors. Everyone knows what beats what. Get a nice multi-phase routine where you can predict the outcome of each round. It is just really, really engaging and just so enjoyable to perform, and your participants will love it too, I'm sure. In at number 7, it's Tricolor by Simon Lipkin. Simon's got a great knack of taking something that perhaps traditionally uses electronics or has a sort of more complicated method and simplifying it down. This is his take essentially on the colour match. No electronics, no batteries, nothing to get wrong, no receivers, no thumpers, nothing, just the pens. And it's absolutely brilliant. It is so easy to do. The production of it is really, really good. That has made it quite expensive, but considering you get several routines on here as well, considering how versatile these pens are, considering you're probably going to be carrying around some Sharpies anyway, and the different routines you can do. Simon's got some great takes on some quite bold, risky routines as well that he likes to do, or you can just do the traditional colour match. It's up to you. And also the pens can run out and you can replace the pens. It's not specific to the pens as well. It's just so versatile. There's nothing to go wrong. It's almost faultless as a mentalism prop for me. I'm surprised if there is a mentalist out there who hasn't got Tricolor by Simon Lipkin. In at number 6, it's Scotch and Whiskey by Hanson Chen and Tom Elderfield. Their take on the Scotch and soda, but instead of using coins, it's done with keys. Tom Elderfield teaches various routines using it, which are all really, really good. You know, you can have the key vanish and appear pretty much anywhere you like. But for me, the surprise was just how well made they are. These will fly under anybody's radar as regular keys. I've thought the locking key might be too thick. It might be exposing something. There might be a hint, but there isn't. It is absolutely brilliantly engineered. And of course, being keys is super easy to be your everyday carry. If you've ever worried about someone hearing that you're a magician and then asking you to do a trick on the spot, having this on your keyring is one of the best escape routes possible. It's probably only so far down the list, not higher up the list, because there is Scotch and Soda's been out there for a while, but there's also this Hider key by Chris Rawlins that came out earlier, and I really, really like that as well, and they're so similar. At number 5, it's Crazy Sam's Mind. I think a lot of people have forgotten about this. Part of the problem with this trick was you didn't get anything terribly exciting in the box. But I can still remember when Sam performed this on me at Blackpool. It was during, we were setting up for Blackpool. I bumped into him. He had a pack of crisps on him. I actually just thought he was offering me a crisp. And then this happened and the crisp broke in the palm of my hand. I didn't see it coming. I had no idea how it was done. It was absolutely jaw-dropping, and it was all I was talking about for the entire day. It sold out on the first day, I think, at Blackpool. And it's a great impromptu trick. So easy to carry around. As you know, you can have this on you. You can play around with it. I was literally carrying it around and just practicing on so many things, regardless of where I was. If I could pick up a piece of paper or a napkin, or indeed a crisp, I would. I've had so much fun from this trick, and I think it's a really, really clever piece of thinking as well. I don't think there's been a bigger surprise ending to any trick as to when that crisp shatters. And number 4 is Instant Paper to Money by Miguel. I really, really love this as an alternative to extreme burn. Even though people have been struggling with extreme burn and the Tyvek notes and so on, people have been looking for alternatives. I don't think this is just an alternative. I think this is better than extreme burn. It is much cheaper. You don't have to cut up any notes. You use your own money. The money can be handed out straight afterwards. It is super, super clean. It is a super, super visual transformation of some magazine cuttings or some receipts, whatever you might be using, to pound notes or whatever currency you might be using. I think it is just so simple and so brilliant. Like I say, for me, it is the best money production ever. And number 3, we have Fragrance by Alex. I think this is double cross, but with scents, with smells, let's put it that way. And it is so much fun. It's very, very easy to do, slightly less messy than double cross in many ways, and the transference of something that is uses a different sense other than vision, the smell, really does engage people and gets their imagination working slightly different. It sort of works on a different plane cognitively somehow. It's just great. The props and everything you get are really, really well made. The teaching is great. There are some various other routines as well. I would go simply for the straightforward smell transference personally. The only downside was that you didn't get any of something that you need, but I include that anyway to get you going right out of the box. It's very easy to carry around, and it's just something that your audience won't be expecting at all. For me, it's just something they won't have seen. They won't have imagined a magic trick based around this premise before either. I think it's just really, really good. And it's just got that quirkiness that I love. At number 2, it's Flux by Roddy McGee, Noel Qualter, and Trick Trick Boom. This is a card revelation. I have been doing card magic for far too long. I'm well aware of Flux number 1 that came out 10 years ago. This is much, much more convenient to do. Getting all of the gimmicks and everything else ready printed is great. And I do know Roddy, obviously, so take this with a pinch of salt, but that revelation, when those markings on the card all align to show the chosen card, it just blows people away. It is one of the most visual endings to a card trick I have seen or I've experienced or that I've shown anyone. It's got that little bit of magician in trouble as well built into it that I like to play on. It's just, I think it's here. I think it's number 2 because it's a card trick that just doesn't feel so much like a card trick. It's moving ink, which Roddy has touched on quite a lot, but in a logical, really, really visual way. And it's not just that the ink's moving, it's just that it has actually nailed the card that they have freely chosen. And finally, at number 1, it is Tornado Bottle by Red Sai and Aaron Singh. What can I say? The effect of this twisting that bottle at the end of a really, really good cap in bottle routine is just a really, really strong, powerful piece of magic. It's also a really, really fun thing to do. You can leave it with your participants if you want, but they can examine the bottle, and just the production value from the box to the bottle, to just the labels, everything you get is so well done. The care, attention to detail, the passion that's gone into the project. There is just so much about it that just makes it an absolute joy to open, to get out, to learn, and to perform. The one downside is that it is a glass bottle, so you've got to be careful with it. But again, they think about that, and they've included that little bubble tube for you to transport it in. You will need refills for the labels eventually, but this trick is so worth it. It is not the trick that you're going to be doing every table hopping. It's the one that you're going to do for the top table, or the most important person there, or the person you think's got the loudest mouth perhaps, and is going to talk about it for the longest. It's perfect if you've got friends coming around your house. You can set that up as well. You can take it down the pub if you want, but you're gonna have to be careful with it. I just think it is absolutely amazing and is very worthy of being my favorite trick of 2024. So there we go. That is sadly the end of the first show of 2025. I will be back next week with lots more reviews, including Jacinta Box's Heroes and Villains and so on. Please, come on. It's the start of the year. Let's stick to those New Year's resolutions and let's grab some magic, get out there and have some fun with the best hobby in the world. Bye-bye.